So just as another example of this, I actually went to this, what was it, what site did I go to? TF3DM, and I just downloaded a standard sort of desert city layout scape. And you can see that the responsiveness and even Blender is a little slow. It's a pretty heavy mesh. It's got a lot of quads in there. Now this would definitely not be an optimal game setting, but I just wanted to see what would happen if we took sort of this big giant file, exported it to DEA, and then loaded it in our application. So I have the app running here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to quit the application, and I'm going to go ahead and restart the load from here. So I made some changes just to the view Fullstrom so that you could see this pretty nicely. So here we go. When you load it, as you can tell, it's hung up on the main screen, actually taking the scene, converting it, and then loading the file. But once the file is loaded, you can see that it's actually pretty responsive and pretty fast in doing the manipulations. I mean, you know, its frame rate is pretty good. I can rotate this thing pretty fast and move around in it pretty fast, especially if I do, you know, pretty good spins with it. And again, all of this is the reason for all this is because when we use the GL shaders programs to do the math behind the functions, which is the new way of doing things in GL, it's pretty fast, even though this is a pretty high quad image. So, and that doesn't look half bad. I mean, this might be one of those cities where maybe this is our starting point. Maybe that we start in a city like this, you crash land, you crash land the fighter off the edge of this place, and then maybe the person needs to go to the city and find the things he needs to repair his VF1 before he can take off with it again and start fighting bad guys. So again, this is just an example of taking something that has a lot of a high polygon count and being able to import it into basically a game engine that we have full control over. Now again, this is just basically nothing more than an over-glorified viewer at this point of a DEA file or any other kind of file, but it's a proof of concept that we can import these things in and start looking at them as game objects.